Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Creative Exchange. I am here with my friend, Monica Church. Woo!
Woo, hello.
I need like a track, like a woo track when I intro people. I mean, I think I'm doing a good job with it. Just, woo, Monica Church,
Woo.
you're a YouTuber. You live in between Seattle and LA.
Yes.
And then you have 2 YouTube channels. So,
yes.
Well, you have 3 actually.
I don't even know anymore.
Oh my gosh. So tell the people about your different YouTube channels.
So I started YouTube when I was 13 years old, and now I'm 23. So I don't like to admit it, but it's been like 10 years. And my main channel that I started with is not really the person that I am today. So I have that, but I created other channels when I started to have other interests. So I'm like classic YouTuber that has a main channel and then a vlog channel. And my vlog channel is called Millennial Life Crisis. And I started it when I seriously was just at a point where I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I have no idea. And I thought of that name. I thought it was catchy. And then I realized that it's also the initials of my name. So I was like, I have to make it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. MLC.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep. So I wasn't even going to make it. And then I was like, I have to now. Like, I have to.
And that's the best time to start vlogging channels when you're actually going through things in life. A lot of people start vlogging just for the heck of it, and then they have nothing to film. So your vlogging channel is how I found you. And I think you were applying for a job, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
so there's
like,
Millennial Life Crisis, and then what's your main channel?
Hero Dynamic. So that started as like a whole beauty and fashion thing because it's such a big kind of sector on YouTube. And so when I started YouTube, I wasn't even that into beauty and fashion, but I just didn't know what to make. And I was like, well, I'm a girl.
What are all the girl YouTubers doing?
I've got like a lip gloss. I could do this. So I don't know. I started to do that, but I really just had way more fun with the actual just filming and editing. Like I was like, I don't really care what I'm making as long as I'm like practicing this. And now it's like I made that for so long and I'm like, wait.
Did you start in iMovie?
Yeah. Yeah, I started on Windows Movie Maker. I started on my dad's old camera. It was just like a point and shoot, and then Windows Movie Maker, a laptop that I like had saved up for, and then like I finally made enough money where I could get an iMac, or no, it was a MacBook, and I could be cool, and I could have like the Apple Music where it's like the
loops. Did you make songs just from loops in like GarageBand?
I wasn't that cool. I wish.
Okay.
I just used like the music that comes in like Final Cut or iMovie, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I can use these now. I used like the cheesy like
the star intros and stuff. So good.
TV. 1 minute long video, just thought it was super cool.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
and because you've been making videos on Hero Dynamic for the past 10 years, right? So I mean, things have slowed down, but you're still doing like what I wear in a week or things like that. So did things shift over the past 10 years? I know you're having, another vision in your head for it now, but what has it been since up to this point? Is it unboxing things or back to school Target stuff? Yeah.
Right now, I don't even know what it is, but it definitely has evolved like with YouTube. Like when I first started, it was okay to upload a video that was a minute long, being like, this is my outfit. And then a couple of years later, it was like, no, it needs to be like 5 minutes and show like 5 outfits and throw a little editing in that. So I evolved to like that kind of thing. And then morning routines became a thing and like adding more editing. And then people had crazy graphics and like would do certain fonts. And I just kind of conformed to whatever anyone was doing. I didn't even have a brain for myself. I was like, that's what that person's doing. Okay, I'm going to do that too. And it's like from that, I guess I learned techniques, but I'm not proud of those days.
But for perspective, that channel has a million subscribers. So, which is, I mean, awesome. Congrats. But people still are successful with it. Like Laura DIY, is that her name? Laura DIY. She's really good at kind of like the morning routine or like watercolor DIY art projects and stuff. But you kind of were like, okay, I need to find my voice outside of this, right? And that's how Millennial Life Crisis started. So how long have you been doing your vlogging channel?
I've had that for like 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too long, but it feels like forever now.
And then what's your third channel?
So I have a third channel that's it's called Flippin' Out, and it's gymnastics, because I grew up doing gymnastics, and so I knew I always wanted to make something about that. I remember when I was a gymnast, it was my entire life, it's like what I would search on YouTube, and I was like, I want to make a destination where gymnasts can go and watch gymnastics content, because I'm into becoming more of a director and a producer. And so I thought, okay, I want to make a channel that's like kind of for younger kids. It's like fun, playful stuff that they can watch about gymnastics. So I've had that one for just over a year now, and it's super fun too.
Yeah. How's it doing?
It's good. I mean, it's honestly not what I expected it to be in my head, which is kind of a letdown, but I feel like that's with literally every creative project you ever do. It's always just trying to get to what your vision is in your head and like never attaining that, but getting close.
Right.
But it's good. It's a lot more.
I mean, you found an audience quick though with that channel. So you obviously met a need.
Yeah, totally. So it's good. It's successful. I'm happy with it. But I wanted it to be like higher level gymnast, kind of edgier, cool stuff. So I'm hopefully soon going to put up another channel so that there's like the younger kids that are in the younger levels just learning, which is cool. But then the higher level ones that are super serious about it, that are trying to go to college for it, that it's like their life. That kind of stuff too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I bet there's an audience for both. Because I bet a lot of younger kids in gymnastics want to see, oh, that person's the same age as me. That's something to aspire to. But then I feel like in general, it's so cool to see these super successful, I don't know, whenever you're seeing the journey of trying to get into college, or even the above that, trying to go to the Olympics for it, it's so cool to see people's journey, period, whether you're an athlete or, you know, a filmmaker or something. Because when I watched one of the Flippin' Out videos, I was like, this is so cool, because there's people just living out their passions, which is cool regardless. But yeah, so are you going to, do you have plans to start like another channel then, or is it going to be on that same channel?
It would be another channel.
Okay.
Yeah, so the plan is Flippin' Out and Flippin' Up. So Flippin' Up's like the higher level one. Yeah, so I mean, I've done a lot of work for it so far, like film videos, know the perfect gyms for it and everything. It's just a matter of, I don't know, finding the right time, because like tacking on another channel to what I do when I'm not even consistent on all of them as it is, it's just, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I need like to hire help, but then that's a whole other issue where it's like.
Have you hired people for like editors or filmers and
I
stuff?
have before, but
what's your experience with that?
It's good, but it's like a different skill that I didn't realize, trying to communicate what you want. I don't know. I realized like I don't want to be a boss. I don't want to be the boss of people. I just want to make what I make. I don't know.
No, that's hard when you have that creative bone, and then, you know, you need that help, whether it's with editing or filming, but then at the heart of it, I just want to do everything, you know, but once you get to that next level, it's hard because you do need help. What would be your dream? To have like a gymnastics show on TV, or to just have maybe like, I don't know, a different channel, like license out the show? Like, what would that dream be for you?
I think right now more of like short-term dreams would be, like more of a show, a gymnastics show. A scripted one would be really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, like, I mean, I have ideas for that kind of thing. It's just really hard to pull off. And I always like have an idea and I know how I want it to look and everything, but I can't get past the writing phase. Like, I don't want to be the writer of it, but then I don't know writers.
Do you have experience with scripted content? Because that's something I know, because I'm more of like the documentary style stuff, and I know you're really good at that. And that's something that I for sure know I do not like. And because I hate writing and I don't like making scripted stuff, the moment someone is like, okay, the camera has to be here and the person's going to say this same thing and it's like the same thing over and over, that's intimidating to me. That's not fun. You know, I love just like capturing random stuff. Sure, there can be some structure, but then really making the story in the edit is what I'm like obsessed with. So what is it about scripted content that, you know, you find intriguing or fun?
I agree with you on all the documentary stuff too. Like I enjoy the process of that so much more. I only would want to make scripted things when there's a few stories that I just really want to tell about my life or someone else's life that I think would just be done better as a scripted thing with actors because it's something that already happened.
Right. That makes sense.
And like for me growing up, one of my favorite movies was Stick It, like a gymnastics movie. And I was like, there needs to be like another thing like that. And so I'm like, I just want to make that. But in general, I'm like, yeah, no, like I hate being on sets. Like it sucks. Yeah. Not a fan of that.
Have you had experience being an actor in something? Because usually when you're on YouTube for a while, you've been doing this for 10 years. It's crazy that you're my age, 23, and you've been doing this for 10 years. Yeah. Once you have an audience, you do, and you live in LA part-time, you do get those opportunities, and everyone around you seems like they want to be an actor sometimes.
Totally.
So do you have experience with that?
I mean, I very early on was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, no. And honestly, it was funny because people would be like managers or agents or whatever, you know, I think they're so used to trying to like pitch, like, I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. They're like, I'll get you acting jobs. And I was like, I don't want to act. And they're like, oh my God, thank you. And I was like, yeah. There were a few times like I was sent scripts and I was just like, I don't want to do this. I just know I don't want to. Sometimes you can get in that mind where, wow, that'd be really cool to be a movie star. Maybe I could do that. And then I'm like, wait, no, I could not. The way I see it, I don't even care to be like on YouTube that much. There are a lot of times where I like don't even want to be on camera, but I've just accepted the fact that it's my life now. But I'll think of an idea, even like for my main channel, and be like, I should just hire an actress because she would do a better job than me. I just am like, let's be real. There's someone out there that would do a better job than me.
But don't you think that's what makes people attracted to your channel and stuff? Is like your personality, and you keep it real. And I think that's something through your vlogging channel you've probably had more success at, because on your main channel you have to keep a certain, I feel like, just level of standards when it comes to your fancy videos. That's what I've found when it comes to like a documentary series. I'm like, oh, I can't show like my real person or what I'm going through.
Yeah.
How has showing the real you, I mean, do you feel like you've shown the real you through your vlogging channel? Like, how has that shift been? Because I'm sure you were used to before, like turn on the camera for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, record some kind of just like maybe some parts are scripted, but when it comes to vlogging, it's literally just like whatever comes to you, right?
Yeah, it's crazy when I think about it. I never thought I would like share this much of my life, but it slowly just kind of happened. Because like at first it started with the whole job interview thing, and that's not that personal, right? It's like cool that it's a challenge and a struggle, but it's not like,
but so many people can relate to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why so many people are attracted to it, because that's honestly how I think you popped up on my feed. Was you were going through the job thing, but then you were also moving, and I feel like you're always moving, you know?
I moved so many times.
All of your videos like moving to Seattle, moving to LA, new house here. And you know, when I wasn't watching a lot of your stuff, I was like, oh my God, wait, where does she live? So let's start with the moving thing. So are you originally from Seattle? Your family's there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been doing a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. Basically, I started out, I grew up in a town like 45 minutes south of Seattle. Never thought Seattle was cool growing up. Was like, I need to get out of here. California is so cool. So moved at 18 to like Orange County area. Lived there for a year. Then moved to LA. Was there for 3 years. And slowly started to hate it. But like didn't want to admit it. And so I'd be like, why am I unhappy? What the heck? And then I'd go back to Seattle and just love it.
And all your family's there, right?
Yeah. And like really good friends. I mean, friends in LA too. But I finally was like, oh my gosh, like I want to live in Seattle. And I didn't even tell anyone for probably like 6 months of me knowing. Like I was afraid to admit it and all that stuff.
Because
I don't know.
It's hard when your industry is in a place like LA. You almost feel guilted that you need to be here. And it's almost like you kind of have to when it comes to collaborations. And so you live in both places now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that, I'm sure that's a better balance for you,
Best of both worlds. Love it. It's amazing. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I have, I'm not like super rich or something, you guys, also. It's just like I have roommates in both places in like very small, it's like quantity over quality. Like both places are kind of like dumbed down, pretty simple, just a room with roommates so I can make it happen. But I really like it that way.
That's cool. Yeah. What's some advice to people that want to make that move happen? A lot of people probably want to move to LA or New York because that's where their industries are. But sometimes I think people are hesitant because they can't have what in their image is the perfect image, the perfect apartment. And so what's some advice that you would give to people that's just like, just do it?
I think the biggest advice I'd give to someone that's wanting to move is, I mean, obviously it's going to be kind of scary. And aside from like housing, I think the most important part is finding friends, right? So my advice would be to, you know, if you're the same age as me, like move in with other people in like a housing like near a college if you're that age, or with other people near where you work. Make friends with your coworkers, like make a good effort to make friends with people. And I think anywhere you live, you'll actually end up loving it. But I mean, you really just got to do it.
You did it at such a young age.
Yeah. And you can always tell yourself, like, it's temporary. You could just do it for a little bit and go back.
And that's the time when to do it. When you're 18, 20, even like mid-20s, late 20s, live with 4 people. Live with 5 people.
Yeah.
You know, get a decent spot. But you're in LA. You're in New York. You're in your dream city. And once you realize that, and when it comes to New York apartments, it's a little bit more complicated because there's so many hoops you have to jump through. But during that time in your life, it's like, just do it. I think it truly does matter where you are for, like, 1, yes, your happiness, but 2, for work, especially in the creative industry. I've lived in Dallas, Texas or a suburb of Dallas, Texas for the first 20 years of my life. And when I was like, okay, it's a nice bubble to grow up in, but when I wanted to take that next step, it's like, this is not where I need to be. You know, the people aren't here. So I moved to Nashville, and I eventually end up in New York. And luckily, I love New York lifestyle. I love the subway. I love like riding bike or like an electric skateboard anywhere, but also creative people are always there. So it's the best of both worlds. But for your case, it's cool that it's like you have LA for work, Seattle for the fam and friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's fun. So the job. What was the job, and why were you applying for a job when you were a YouTuber? You're a famous YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. With 1 million subscribers.
I want 1 million subscribers.
That sounds so much better than subscribers.
Honestly.
But yeah, why a job when you have such a massive YouTube channel?
Well, I didn't like the videos that I was making at all. It was before I started my vlog channel, and I was just like thinking about the future, and I was like, I can't keep going on like this. And I've never had a job in my life other than YouTube. I've never worked for someone, which is kind of crazy. And like when I tell people that, they are like, must be nice. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I know my life is just weird. I got really lucky, I'll admit it totally. But there was hard work there too. But
and there's certain things that you have to deal with that you don't have to deal with in 9 to 5. Everything falls on you. All the responsibility falls on you. And especially when you are a 13, 14-year-old and 18, 19-year-old and you're dealing with those pressures, that can be a lot. Yeah.
And I think that was sort of the thing. I was like, I've never had a 9 to 5 job. What if I really like that? I'm sick of always having to like fix my own problems. Like, oh, if I'm not getting views, I can't go to someone. What do I do? Like, I just
definitely can't go to YouTube and ask.
No, you sure can't. Nope.
No communication on their end for anything.
Nope. But yeah, so I was like, I just want to get like a real job and see if I like that. And it was in video production. It was just an internship with the Seattle Mariners. It's because I love baseball. I was like, I love video and I love baseball. Why don't I mix the two?
Yeah.
And I remember it just, everything about it like felt so right. I had applied. So I was unhappy living in LA, but I had never really admitted that I wanted to move to Seattle. So I thought of every excuse kind of to move to Seattle, like low key, I guess. And so I remember I had looked up internships before, but not in a long time. And one day I was just really annoyed, I think, at my sister, and I just didn't want to be in California. And I was like, I'm just going to search Mariners like job opportunities. And I saw the internship, and I think the day was like February 18th or something. And it was like 3 p.m. And it said like February 18th is like the last day to submit an application at like 4 p.m. So I had like an hour, and I texted my best friend. I was like, should I apply? Like, oh my gosh, should I do it? She was like, yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, and so I did.
And you pulled out your camera, documenting the entire process? Okay, you didn't document that? Okay.
That was before. So I did, and then I was super excited, and then I just forgot about it. And then a month later, I got a phone call from a random number that was from the Mariners and was like, hey, or no, it was an email, I think. It was like, we want to have a phone call with you and an interview. And I was like, I completely forgot about this. Oh my gosh. So I had the phone call, and then it set up an interview, and I was so excited about the whole process because I had never had a job. Yeah. So I was like, this is crazy. Like, oh, I've never done this. And so I pulled out my camera when I was getting on my flight to go to Seattle for the interview. And I remember being so nervous for it. I remember my dad driving me there, and I was like, Dad, stop. Like, I can drive myself. He was actually so cute. He was actually kind of annoying, though. He literally walked into the office with me. I was like, Dad, you can't do this. God. Like, they're going to think I can't, like, just work on my own. Like, because he loves the Mariners, too. So he just wanted to go inside and, like, stop. I was like, leave. So then I had the interview, and I mean, it went really well, but not perfect, obviously. But I thought I was like a shoo-in, right? And so I like hyped it up, you know, days would go by, I'd be like, hopefully I'm going to hear from them. And then I didn't hear from them. And then I just wasn't expecting that. I started vlogging because I thought that I was going to get that job. I thought I was going to have all this exciting time of moving to Seattle.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I didn't. What now?
Did they just never get back to you?
They did, like, after the baseball season had started. I'm like, well, I didn't get the job. Thanks a lot.
Well, the joke's on them, because now you have millennial life crisis. And I feel like it's flourishing.
Yeah, it's like, everything's supposed to happen. No, I hate that saying, but like.
But no, I think it's true. And it's funny, I think 6 months ago or something, I was in Santa Barbara for a vacation. Whatever vacation means. I tried. It was good, but we got some good content, so it made it fun. And I kind of had a freak out because that YouTube is so up and down. And one week you could be on the top of the world. The other week you're like, wow, my views are half what I got last week.
You're like, all your happiness kind of goes back to your work. And if you're not doing well, you're like just in a bad mood no matter what. And it's not your fault,
because usually when you're a YouTuber, YouTube really is your entire life. So when all of that is wrapped up into thousands of people watching you, if half of those people have a busy day and decide not to click on your video, then you feel that. You feel that weight. And there's so much of a pull in between quantity and quality. And you're someone who I feel like we can relate to each other, because we've had things on YouTube to do really well, but then we also have this passion to do something more and to create that stuff that maybe for the majority we're behind the camera. And now that we have something on YouTube, that's kind of scary to do, right? Because people are there for your personality, and they're there for other things, but they like you, they like Monica, they like Sarah. And so sometimes it's scary to do that stuff. And 6 months ago in Santa Barbara, I was like in an Airbnb restroom, like on the phone with my mom, like crying. And like, I don't want all of the responsibility to be on me. Like, I was legit thinking of going to do a full-time job with like this New York City startup. And so I was like, oh, that's fun. I love the business world and I love connecting to creators, but that pressure can be a lot sometimes. And so I legitimately was about to like go have a full-time job, like a 9-to-5 at a startup. And I don't think I've actually ever told anyone this. But just something happened that next week when I was like about to do it. And I was like, I'm so obsessed with the process and the climb. And I think sometimes I have to recognize that that is fun for me, but sometimes it gets so much. And I was like, if I was at the mercy of someone else, that I would be so much more miserable, you know?
Yeah.
Because I love being my own boss, but it can just get so much sometimes. And you know, there's those moments where it would be nice to just work for someone, you know? It's so...
And clock out.
And then go watch Netflix for 4 hours.
And not feel guilty about, like, not doing something.
But then you kind of have to reevaluate and be like, oh, wait, is that me? Is that truly me?
Yeah.
And so that's... Yeah, I kind of had a moment, and then I came back to, okay, everyone has ups and downs. It's just sometimes maybe our downs are more intense just because it's all on you. Yeah. And then you have the pressure of other people and the comment section, all that. But it can be a struggle. And I think for any creative person, whether, you know, you're doing YouTube or you're just like a DP on a film, or maybe you're just getting, you know, starting out with things. So do you feel in a way that right now you're kind of at a point where you feel like starting again? Like, do you have certain things that you want to do with your first channel and with companies? You know, maybe you want to like become almost like maybe more of a production company and be that role behind the camera. So what's going through your head now?
Well, I just turned 23.
Woo!
Woohoo! And just a few weeks ago, and I don't know, to me it sounds
Happy
old.
Birthday.
Obviously it's not. Oh, thanks. But it made me think really hard about everything that I've been doing, and am I on track to be doing what I want to be doing? And I don't think that I am. And so I have been thinking about like all the things that I want to do, and it's like a little bit scary. But yeah, my main channel that I had for so long, honestly, the way that I look at it is I was taking the easy way out. I was like making these videos that I knew would do well, that I didn't really care about, and it was the easy way out to me. And I'm no longer going to take that. I'm gonna make videos that I really care about, but maybe they take a lot more time and take more production and people involved, and is about a topic that's hard to talk about. I don't know. So I mean, I'm thinking about a lot of things of growing that channel up and trying to keep going into the role of being more of a producer and a director, and trying to make higher quality things, which means you come up with an idea and then you got to hire like a DP, just a bunch of people that I can't think of right now. I don't know, you know, like
a grapher. They do
grip.
lights, or a grip, not a grapher.
A gaffer.
A gaffer. There's so many
things.
Different
it's
things.
kind of scary to think of like a big set day where if you spend a whole bunch of money on it, that's so much pressure.
But it's different, and it's a new adventure. Yeah. And I think a good example, we were talking about her earlier, is Anna Akana. Yeah. So she is a YouTuber who crushes it, but she has these bigger projects that are literally films, and she hires out so many people to help her. And I'm sure right before that it was so scary, but it almost seems she's so natural at it now. But do you have, let's get a little geeky with like filmmaking and stuff, because I was watching a video recently and I didn't know you went to film school. Did you finish film school?
No.
Okay. How long were you there?
I was there for about 1.5 years, I think. Maybe it was 2 years. I went to Orange Coast College and I loved it, and like I have them to thank for the person that I am today. I think I still think about like my first class, like my first editing class and my first like filming class, and I think the biggest thing that I learned was not even about like the filmmaking technical side, but about just dreaming big, and they would be really inspiring. It was really cool. I don't know. And I mean, they would say like, you don't need to get a degree to do film. Like they would always kind of preach that. So I was like, okay, yeah, fine. I'm not going to. They're like, why are you even here anymore? And I was like, okay, fine, I'll leave.
So with that, what do you think is the purpose of film school?
I mean, I think you do learn things that you should know. You should know composition of a shot. You should know how a set runs and the jobs that are done, and maybe a bit on how to do those jobs. You don't need to be an expert if you don't want to be a gaffer, but you need to know kind of what they do. And you learn more about story, and you interact with other people. You learn to communicate better. I do think that's all important. So you learn all these technical things, but then you realize like rules are meant to be broken, and that's okay.
But you have to know the rules before you break them. Yeah,
you got to know the rules, though. Otherwise, you're just super amateur. You got to know the rules to be able to break them, for sure. That's it.
Yeah. So the idea of college, I think still people struggle with, because they see so many successful people out there without college degrees, but then they don't know the whole story. Because I truly believe I was in, I was in college for 3.5 years. I hated it, but I truly believe that there were aspects of my time being a computer science major that actually helped me in the long run. Like you learn problem solving, and even though you're trying to make a pyramid of asterisks and C++, the problem solving that you learn through that actually helps you to like critically think. And I had this moment when I was in Premiere and I was trying to figure out how to do some like fancy thing in editing with like keyframes or something, and I thought of a way to do it that was just like so weird, but I was like, oh, this is because I feel like I'm learning how to think differently. I don't know, like I feel like everything truly does have a reason. But in terms of traditional college, if you are a creator, or maybe you want to be an entrepreneur, you have a business idea, what's your opinion on college and all that things? Because obviously with film school, you went for 1.5 years, you got what you needed, and you left. You don't have a degree from it, but you did find some value within that year. Yeah. So for those people who are maybe younger, they're in high school, they're stressing out about college, what's some advice you have to aspiring creators?
I think that if you're a creative person, like college isn't for everyone, but there is that important aspect of like you meet people there that could end up being people you work with for the rest of your life on creative things too. That's a huge part of it. I think people think, oh, if I get into like this big university, like Steven Spielberg is gonna let me be his assistant, right? And it's like, no, that's not what people mean by you meet people. It's like you meet other talented students of your age and your capability, but you guys are all going to grow together. You're not just going to get hand selected
because you have that fancy certificate.
No, it's like, it's cool. It's really cool to be just surrounded by all those people, and people take that for granted because you're just not going to get that anywhere else, really, unless, I don't know, you go to some other one-off class. But
I think that's valuable when you don't already have that. I think people who maybe in high school, they're in maybe like a club or something outside of school, or like for me, it was my church. It was like a big mega church, but it was super creative. So I was able to kind of go alongside people and be like, oh, how'd you do that and that? So and I just kind of offered my time. So it really like expedited that, but kind of created this network of people. And so I think for college, if you have no idea what you want to do, and you don't have that network already, I think it could be a really good place to find that. But you don't go and do that for like $60K a year. I think I'm like, no way. When you graduate college, you're literally like starting your adult life, and you don't want to start your adult life $200,000 in debt. I don't think
that's just crazy.
I don't think people realize that like loans aren't free money, and then you're paying like insane interest, and you're trying to get that apartment in New York City. You're trying to live your dreams in LA, but you have a $900 college payment that you have to pay. That complicates the process, so I think you got to find that middle ground. You got to have common sense, and then if you have that network outside of school, screw it. I'm like a huge advocate of like, you don't need college, especially if you're a filmmaker, photographer, designer, even a business person. Go freaking to Barnes & Noble, go on the internet and read,
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to just never stop learning in general.
Exactly, because people have this mentality of I'm in college, I read my books and I'm done. but you never stop.
I think the worst thing I ever did for myself was, I think there was a point in time where, like, when I was in film school, like, the teachers would kind of hype me up and be like, you're really good, like, you're one of, like, the better ones in the class kind of thing. And so then I would just, like, be kind of a hothead about it and be like, yeah, like, I don't need to, I know everything there is to know. And I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like, I didn't know anything. And I just really stopped myself for a while from growing because I just thought that I learned what I needed to. But you never stop learning.
You never stop learning. And sometimes that ego can get in the way.
Yep.
And that's something good about the chaos that is YouTube, is it keeps you humble. I think it truly does keep you humble, because you can be a rock star in one moment and then post a video that doesn't have a decent title and thumbnail, and you're like back to square one.
Totally. Yeah.
So what's going on with YouTube right now? Have you been affected?
So annoying.
Have you been affected by the adpocalypse or demonetization, or are your views screwed up? Because for a little bit of context for people who are unaware of the YouTube landscape, it is up and down all the time. They're always changing the algorithm. When people subscribe, that really means nothing now. They're not going to get notified of your video. Just you cross your fingers and hope that you're going to land on the homepage, the recommended feed, because that's how people click on your videos now. So once you start feeding the algorithm, maybe you will have some hope, but that means Logan Paul is in the title of your video. Maybe you're doing a trend of like, I'm eating gross jelly beans because everyone's doing that. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a weird landscape. We're all trying to kind of like figure out what is our new voice, what should we be doing, what has been going through your brain, how are you handling it?
I mean, I wasn't handling it well, but it's been going on for, I think, a good 2 years of being frustrated by it, that I just stopped caring. I'm like,
because you have the perspective of being on this platform for 10 years.
Yeah.
So what was it like the first 5 years versus now?
The first 5 years, I mean, it's just so much easier. There was less people on it trying to like do this, and I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, like, there wasn't like BuzzFeed with like the clickbait. Like, that wasn't a thing. You would just like throw up a video and not even really think about the title and thumbnail that much. And now it's like the title and the thumbnail is more important than the whole video. And people are doing the most crazy things for views, and it just made the site trashy, I think. I'm not proud to be on it a lot of the time because they did it to themselves. Like, they made it trashy. I'm like, wow, I don't think YouTube's the right platform for the stuff that I want to make, but it's the only one.
Exactly. Because it sucks to come to that realization, because maybe there's things in the headlines recently that, Logan Paul goes into a suicide forest, films a dead person, YouTuber Logan Paul. That's what the headline says.
I got so much shit for that.
So immediately, like, oh, I'm a YouTuber too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm associated with. Yeah. And people think, oh my God, what is this platform? What is it doing? Like, oh my God, you're a YouTuber. Is that the type of stuff that you make? And so when your job is to constantly just make sensational content, and that's where you end up, like, filming really, like, stuff that should not be on the internet, it hurts the entire platform. But, like, what, are you going to post your videos on Vimeo? No. No. Like, the people are on YouTube. So I think that's been something that I've been hearing from a lot of people in the community is, I do not like the platform I'm creating on, but it's my only option.
Yeah. Exactly. You just took the words out of my mouth. Read my mind. That's pretty much what I'm always thinking.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think is the solution to finding satisfaction as a creator on YouTube? Or do you think it's,
I mean, like, I just stopped caring. I was like, I'm just going to make what I want to make, and I'll kind of try to do titles and thumbnails, but I don't care. I'm just going to throw up what I want to throw up, and I'm not going to, I don't know.
Yeah. You have to not care to a certain degree, especially when a lot of your job depends on getting feedback from people you don't know.
Yeah.
And you really have to balance that line of reading the comments, but also not getting too upset to where you just want to run away to the mountains and just like never open up a computer again.
Yeah, because sometimes it'll just not get to you if it's something so completely ridiculous. But sometimes if you did something like really personal and maybe there's a little bit of truth behind a negative comment, we're like,
those
they're
are the
not
worst.
wrong. Like,
those are the worst. You know, the ones that are super intense and crazy, that's just a comment on that person. You're crazy. I'm going to hide you from my channel.
Yeah.
But when I posted a video recently. I've been using the GH5s recently for my podcast. So I was like, I'm going to try vlogging with them. And the autofocus is terrible. And so as I'm getting used to this camera, the first 2 minutes of the video is pretty out of focus. And it was a bummer, but I'm like, this is a video I've already filmed and edited. I just got to put it out there. But there were so many comments about it. And it's like something that obviously going into it, I knew about and I'm super insecure. But it's those comments where you did something wrong or you can improve.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, Sarah, I'm so disappointed in you.
Yes.
You know?
Or like, oh, you have just gotten lazy lately. Like, you're not how you used to be. You've changed. Those sorts of things are like get under your skin and you're like,
it's the worst.
When you put up a video you know isn't your best and they go like, your videos have gone downhill lately, I'm like, because they're not wrong. They're right.
Because they're truthful to my life.
Yes, call me ugly, I don't care, that's subjective. But if you say something's gotten like worse and I know it, that's when I'm like, oh God.
Exactly. Yeah. There's so much crap to say on YouTube, but I will say, just to end the YouTube conversation on a positive note, it is what has allowed me to meet incredible people like you. I feel like I've had a really cool network of people, be created from just people who have common goals of making dope stuff and like trying to take over the world. And it's cool to see people come out of this and really say like, I want to do better. I want this platform to be better. And I think a lot of people are trying to collectively make that happen. So we'll see. But it's led to some of the coolest relationships that I've had and amazing opportunities. I think through this adpocalypse stage, it's kind of proved that you can't depend on money from Google of putting pre-roll ads. So I think both of us have had really cool opportunities to work with brands that allow you to actually go to places and do things that you wouldn't be able to do originally. I've been able to be an interviewer on like a red carpet with like famous actor people. Like I got to interview freaking Neil Patrick Harris, like life made. You recently got to go to Utah, do some Olympic stuff with Coke, and you got to interview Simone. What's her name?
Simone Biles.
Yeah,
she's like the best gymnast there ever has been.
I mean, how is that?
Yeah, it was. So that's cool. It was so cool. I mean, it's funny, like growing up, Olympic gymnasts are like your heroes, but now it's to the point where I'm like, oh, Simone's like younger than me.
Is she really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I think she's amazing and talented, but I'm not like starstruck to meet her.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, this is so cool, I get to talk to her, but it's not the same, I guess. Right. I'm just like, oh, now I just feel like I'm equal. Like, we're all just humans. Maybe some people don't agree. They're like, but she's an Olympian. And I'm like, but we're all just people.
We're all just people.
I don't care.
Who is that one person that you would get super starstruck by?
Jimmy Kimmel. I love Jimmy Kimmel so much. I love Jimmy Kimmel.
That is so random.
He's amazing. He's so funny, but like not too much at the expense of another person, but a little bit where it's kind of mean, but like a good mean. And he's a really good person. He just actually seems kind-hearted. I've been to like in the audience of his live shows, and like when he came out, I honestly think there was a tear in my eye. I was like,
no way. Like, I did not know that.
My life, if I could just be on the Jimmy Kimmel show, I'd be like,
you could just die there.
Ellen, no. Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Fallon, no. Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel, I know you're a big fan of watching The Creative Exchange, so let's get Monica on your show.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I would love to meet him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay, I know, you wouldn't think it.
There we go. I think mine would be Jennifer Lawrence. because I think she's just like so badass and like so cool. And she's one of the people that in the back of my mind I wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta be cool because I want her like on the podcast or I want her on a video. She's just like such a superstar that I'd be like, this is the only time that I'm seeing you, so I'm gonna freak out and like take a picture. I think she's so cool. She's the freaking Mockingjay. Yeah. Did you watch Hunger Games? I watched all that.
Yeah. I made videos about it back in the day. They're embarrassing.
What were the videos that you would make about?
Like tutorials, makeup tutorials to look like them, and they're so
Did you do the braid, the like Mockingjay braid and stuff?
I didn't. My hair wasn't long enough, but I did like the one where it was like the lady with the pink hair and stuff. Honestly, I'm gonna go private this right after.
It's so bad. But hey, you know, I think everyone has videos like that on their YouTube channel. That let's see. Second or third video ever that has like 70,000 views, and this is probably going to be the last time I ever talk about it because I feel like I've been talking about it a lot recently and I don't want people to watch it, was a music rap video of me and my friends rapping about the law of supply and demand. And one of my friends had a Nicki Minaj like Halloween costume that she wore in it, and we changed all the words to very educational economics terms and things, and that was kind of the start of my YouTube career, to be honest. But it's still up. I'm like, I should probably unlist that,
right? But it's one of those things, like YouTube would probably punish you in some way.
I know, right?
Like, I don't know.
But it's one of those things that, you know, like, I like to keep that stuff up just to, if people want to look, to see where we come from.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that was me at once, and everyone's an awkward teen at some point. Even, you think they're not? Okay, I saw a video of Kendall and Kylie Jenner doing like a music video, and it was honestly...
Was it terrible?
Really hilariously embarrassing, I bet, for them. And I was like, okay, it's good to know they went through that phase too. Because I feel like our generation totally went through the phase where you have a sleepover one night and you're like, let's make like a lip sync music video. And it's the most fun thing ever.
And everyone has their experience with photo booth. And when you're young, that's the coolest thing ever. So if you go over to a friend's house and they have a Mac and they have that front-facing camera and you can like be swimming in the fishes or a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of people probably don't even know what we're talking about. But photo booth was an app on a Mac computer where you could like make the background a green screen basically and like do these crazy effects. So we would do that all the time.
Yeah.
All of the time.
I loved that.
Did you ever do that alone and make music videos alone and like speed up your voice? And make do you remember Fred?
Had a friend in it.
Okay. Oh man, so I'm just the loser. But do you remember the Fred videos?
Yes.
Where he would like speed up his voice and be like, blah, blah, blah. I was very inspired by that. So I would sit in front of my Mac and I would play like a Screamo song or something. These are videos that no one will ever see, ever. But I had a phase in middle school where I listened to like Screamo stuff, and I would record myself singing it, and I would do it, you know, in slow. So basically the trick, if you're wondering, is if you want to film a music video and film the people in slow motion, or like make the words that they're singing look like they're doing it in slow motion. I'm sure you've done this before. You basically speed up the song twice as fast, and then you have the person sing it twice as fast. So in post, when you slow it down 50%, their lips are going to be in slow motion, but they're actually going to be singing to the correct speed of the song. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense at all?
I never did that.
Okay. So I would do that to myself with like these Screamo songs.
Process.
I know. So, oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
It's so funny.
I know. Do you have... Let's go back to that topic of not going through awkward phases. Because I truly believe... the youths of America now have you to teach them how to put makeup on. I didn't have that. I didn't know. In 7th and 8th grade, all I did was I had liquid liner, and I would just put like really bold lines of like liquid liner on the top and bottom. It was terrible.
That's so funny.
I had no one to teach me.
That's classic first learning how to use
Yeah,
eyeliner.
but I didn't know to go to YouTube. Did you have those moments, or because you were that beauty vlogger?
Oh no, I had the moments. I started out like the most awkward. Just awful. Like even like the first 2 years of it, I still wasn't totally with it. Even today, I'm not totally with it.
Girl, you're with it. You're with it. But everyone looks like freaking Kylie and Kendall Jenner.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my god. It's like, how?
I don't like the vanity involved in that. Like, why do you need to like take so many photos of yourself? Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever watched the Kardashians?
Yeah. I have.
What do you think of the Kardashians?
I just get bored of it. I mean, I've seen them before. I actually almost got in an elevator one time with Chloe and Courtney.
No way.
Yeah, it was a weird day. So
Did the security guards be like, excuse me,
They weren't with any security guards. Oh. No, it was so weird. I didn't even know. So I just remember seeing like these girls kind of, I didn't look at their faces. I just saw they were so dressed up. I'm like, geez, who are they? Right. And like kind of like a teal dress and like a coral dress. And they were getting in the elevator, and me and Shelby were about to get in the elevator, and we're like, oh, let's go. And then something in me was like, actually, let's wait a second. So we didn't get in the elevator. So those girls went up and whatever, didn't think about it. But then I had my meeting for what I was doing that day, and then I went to a restaurant later and saw the same girls in those dresses. I was like, those are the girls from the elevator. And I look at their faces, and it's Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian. And I'm like, I almost got in an elevator with them. I didn't even realize it was them.
Your life could have been changed if you just got in that elevator.
Yeah, right? And
I wonder what they smell like.
Oh, they probably smell good. Yeah. They probably smell like flower bomb or something. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. But it was pretty funny. And they were like filming the Kardashians. Kim showed up. It was like Little Baby North at the time. All these things. God. It was at Toast Bakery Cafe. Have you been there?
Okay, no, I haven't. So good. If you guys want to be hip and happening, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Toast.
It's where the Kardashians go.
Oh my gosh. I watched one season of the Kardashians, and the entire time I was just rolling my eyes, but it was entertaining. There was a reason why I was watching it.
Yeah.
And it's weird when it's a reality show, but then you know so much of it is scripted. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of parallel that with YouTube. And I feel like we truly are showing a lot of authentic things of our life, especially when it comes to vlogging. But do you sometimes find yourself kind of like twisting your reality to kind of fit with what you think people want to see?
Kind of. I mean, my brain doesn't stop thinking about YouTube ever, honestly, to the fact that like I'll be thinking in my mind of what I think I should say, not for what I should say, but what I should say for like my vlog. It's like I'm always in YouTube mode. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. And I'll find myself like literally talking to myself. And I'm like, oh, I hope no one saw that. That was weird. That was super weird. And like if I go somewhere without my camera, sometimes I'm like, oh, what do I even do? Like,
right.
I don't know. And I mean, I don't decide to go do things just for the sake of this will be good for a video very often. I mean, like I guess sometimes I do. But more so, I'm thankful that I get that attitude. Otherwise, I'd be lazy and I wouldn't do anything.
Wouldn't go out of the house. Yeah. I found myself a lot now doing things just for videos. Because when it was vlogging, honestly, it got like so boring. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post less, but really make an effort towards, okay, I have, this new camera or something. I'm going to go out on my way to do something crazy. So I don't feel like I'm creating a false narrative or something, but more it's just like people have low attention spans. Yeah. They want goodness and like, just excitement in a 5 to 10 minute package. I'm like, I've kind of accepted that. And vlogging, I've had a complicated relationship with it. When I realized I really don't like it, that's when kind of everything changed for me, and I learned to enjoy YouTube more. Because I was like, I need to stop just like taking my camera everywhere and waiting for something to hit me. Yeah. But I think it is different though when vlogging is just your only thing. I think that can get dangerous. But like with you're documenting so many things that you're doing, and I think that's when it gets exciting. So I think that's a little nugget that people should take away from your vlogs is like you have so many things that you're trying to go after in life, and
it's just like growing up.
Yeah, and you're just documenting that, which I think is really exciting and fun.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of clips that like I don't put up too. Like, I've went on like a first date like a month ago and like vlogged before it, and I was like, this is probably just gonna be for me to keep for myself. Maybe I'll use it one day. And I don't know, sometimes I put up really personal stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's always just super interesting things happening.
Yeah.
At this
Is it
time.
hard to pursue relationships when you're a YouTuber? Have you found?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's like kind of not fair to think that they can just go watch any of my videos, you know, and
They have
to
like
know
an
me.
entire catalog.
Yeah, I just hope they don't like watch a lot. I don't know.
Do you like do you use apps or anything, or do you just like me? Okay.
No.
So I mean, you could just give them your first name, I guess, so they can't Google you.
Yeah, it's just like it's just so part of my life that it's like, okay, yeah, they know, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's a big deal. I just always kind of hope that they don't think that it's cooler than it is, and like that they don't like me more just because, I mean, seeing someone have a lot of followers can make them seem more attractive, not even just because, oh, followers, like it's validation, like these many people think that person's cool too. And I just really hope like anyone that I date doesn't like,
it doesn't like shadow their judgment.
Yeah. And I just like get a little bit like, but why do you like me? Like, I don't know.
You're pretty cool.
Thanks.
Let's start there.
Okay.
But do you think when that time comes that you might be in a serious relationship, is that something you're going to keep off, or do you think it would be like impossible because you share so much of your life?
I really don't know. I've thought about this because there was this time that there was this guy and he was in a few of my videos, and then I put up a video just completely like heartbroken over it.
I saw that video.
Yeah, that video. I mean, I'm over it now. Like, it's totally fine, but I saw some comments with his name and I hated to see that. Really hated to see that so much. And like the vlogs that he's in are still up, and like I took him out of the thumbnails, and like he's not in any of the names or anything,
right.
And I just never look at them. But I don't really like that they're there now. But in the moment, it was so fun and so real to have, and it was a good memory. I just don't know. I think that if I share so much about my life, like I have to share that too. I don't know. I think I would, but I think it'll take a lot of time. Because honestly, to me, introducing like a boyfriend would be like introducing him to my children. Yeah, like that's what, not even my parents, like me having a child and being like, okay, like, because they're gonna get attached to you.
Hundreds of thousands people giving their opinion.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's
give
scary.
their opinion. If they like you, they're gonna get attached to you.
Yeah.
And if we break up, they're gonna be asking me a whole bunch, what happened to so and so? And I don't want to deal with that.
You always see that happen. And that's something that I went through, because traditionally I really did not date a lot, and I was always like work. And luckily I found someone that's exactly like work. But prior to that, I was like, even if that became a part of my life, I'm not going to show them in videos, you know. I'm fine.
It's like, you say that.
You say that, but then the person you end up dating is also a YouTuber.
Well, and it's like so
much
much more fun to have someone else in a video.
It is. It always is. And especially when you have that kind of chemistry on that level, it's always so entertaining, and it can be so fun. And so it's kind of one of those things that you be conscious of, because I think we've seen a lot of YouTube relationships happen and explode. You know, you have the boyfriend versus girlfriend thing, where Jesse Wellens literally broadcasted his entire relationship with Jenna on their channel, and their channel was reliant on it, and so they were vlogging every day, so it adds that pressure. I think that's when it gets dangerous. When your job relies on your relationship, I think that's when it gets dicey.
I can say I would never ever make like a channel, a with joint that channel. Person. I would never make like a family channel or anything like that. It's always just like, nope, this is the Monica show, and featuring you sometimes. But like, this is the Monica show, and it's never going to become about. It's never going to become about like, a relationship, you know? It's like other things I'm doing in my life. If you want that, you can go somewhere else.
What do you think about family channels?
I mean, I've never really wanted kids. Yeah. So I just don't get it. I just don't care to watch them.
I just don't get the whole family thing, period.
I don't get it. I don't want to watch your delivery thing. I'm sorry. You're a nice person, but like, and I'm not. It's like its own thing. It's just like someone saying, I don't like watching scary movies, so I don't watch scary movies. I've never even held a baby.
You've never held a baby?
No. And I'm not saying like I never want to have kids. Right. Honestly, the more I grow up, the more I'm like, yeah, family seems cool.
Right.
But
I mean, to each their own. It's like you do what you freaking want to do with your life. Mm-hmm. Like when I see a baby in a grocery store or something, I immediately just melt. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
What?
When I see a dog,
babies, I feel that way.
No, literally, like when I'm like out to eat or something, or you know, I'm with John and a cute baby will be close, he'll be like, oh my god, here we go again. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I grew up babysitting, and so I was like the youngest in my family, so. Okay, like fueled all of my passions, like guitar or camera gear, because babysitters, they get paid. Yeah, like when you are trusted with another person's child and you crush it, you're gonna bring in the dough, you know. So I have like this weird association with, I love kids, but also it's like what I did for a job for like 5 years of my life. Yeah, I break down when I see babies in public.
I wish I could feel that,
but there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, like a family, I think that's an exciting idea, but broadcasting every second of that, and especially, it's one thing when your job relies on your significant other, but then you start bringing in little like your children, to where the title thumbnail, you making money, depends if they like cry or not on like crazy situation. That can get sketchy. And I think a person who does it really well is like Casey Neistat. So he'll make his normal vlogs, but he doesn't even show his kid's face in the videos anymore, because he, I'm guessing, wants that little human to be able to consent being on the camera.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that respect.
When they're older and they can say yes or no, you know, maybe that's when we'll see him in the video. But I think there really is certain lines that you have to play.
Yeah, and I would get kind of sad if like he just did so much family stuff, because like when you do get a little bit of it, it's really exciting. Like when he does any sort of like love story thing of Candace, I'm like, these videos are amazing.
I want more Casey Candace content.
Candace, but like only when it's him like telling the story, just the way he tells things is amazing.
I am. Yeah. He's so good. Well, this was fun, Monica. Thank you for being on the Creative Exchange. Last question. If you had a megaphone and you could just like tell the world something, let's narrow it down. Tell all the creative people, whether it's advice or maybe something that you say or something you've learned throughout your journey, what would that be? I know that's a big question. That's a really big question. Oh. But this is your chance to broadcast it to everyone.
I feel like this isn't that cool, but I'm just going with it because we talked about it already and I've just been really feeling it. It's just never stop learning. And never think that you're the best. Find like a happy balance of being happy with your work, and don't hate on yourself too much and think everything you do sucks. But so be happy and confident, but also realize it always needs to be getting better. Otherwise, you're just stopping yourself from growing and getting better.
Heck yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us in this podcast. If you're on YouTube, let me know if you liked it and hit that subscribe button down below. And you can find the Creative Exchange everywhere. So if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, I do have a YouTube channel for it, so you can see our faces IRL. All of those links are in the description below. Find Monica on YouTube. So what are your channels? Where can people find you?
YouTube.com/Hair or Millennial Life Crisis. That's what I'm going to go with.
Cool. So all of her links are in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I think, what do you think of the sign off? So I've been getting suggestions, and I think I'm going to go with like happy hustling. Do you like that? Is that weird? Do you have any suggestions? Because Stay Peachy is so good for my main stuff, and I'm trying to find my podcast thing. Any suggestions?
I don't know. I like that.
Or maybe just like Stay Creative.
Stay Creative.
Because I have like Stay Peachy, Stay Creative.
Stay Creative.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Until next Monday,
keep creating.
Keep creating. Yeah. Because something I always say is, when in doubt, keep creating. Because there's been so many times in my life that I've doubted, but then I pushed through, and that answer was like on the other side of that, you know? All right. Okay. Keep creating.
Keep creating.
All right. Until next Monday, guys. Keep creating. Ding. Perfect.